everything. So that's really great. You know, we don't start without warming up. So just stand up, everybody, would you? Find a place where you can stand up. And let me adjust a little bit here, okay? Just think about letting everything hang there, and would you just take a breath, a normal breath in? Just think about it as you're breathing in, and let it out. You look a little better already. You found your space. I love it. Now, the next breath that you take, would you breathe enough so that it might change the expression of your face when you take a full breath and let it go? Here we go. Ready? And in. And out. All right, now you know 90% of what we all do is attitude. This time, take a breath that's so fresh and big and fills you up that it changes your entire attitude of your face, your stance, and your body. Here we go. One chance. Ready? And down. Ah, beautiful. All right, adjust your posture a little bit. Would you imagine, when I count to 3, would you imagine that you're going to get something out of the refrigerator? 1, 2, 3. All right, let's try the second one. Now you're searching for something on a bookshelf. 1, 2, 3. And the third one, you've got about 125 kids in front of you. Think about that. Here you go, the last posture. 1, 2, 3. Now we got a cast and scenery and costumes. I love it. Well, considering it's our last Teachable Tuesday, I would be remiss if we didn't do our own Dan Mertzluff's Mr. Sparkles, AKA warm-up that's called I Just Want Some Tacos, because it's Tuesday. So how about a little echoing, everybody? Here we go. Every Tuesday, all I think is. Try it again and think about your T's. We talked about diction last week. Every Tuesday, all I think is. I just want some tacos. I just want some tacos. Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. Let me say it again, a lot of words. Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. I really want some tacos now. All right, let's try it all together. 4 phrases. Every Tuesday, all I think is, now you can't speak or sing without acting, so who are you telling the story to? Look at it and use your space. Every Tuesday, all I think is, I just want some tacos, then tell someone else. I just want some tacos. Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. How do you feel? You're pretty passionate about your tacos, sounds like. Ready? And the 4th is, I really want some tacos now. So let's speak at once. Here we go. Every Tuesday, all I think is, I just want some tacos. I just want some taco. Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. I really want some tacos now. Some of you are pretty adamant about that. I love it. Here we go. Every Tuesday, all I think is, and soldo at the end. Let's try it, everybody. Every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, all I think is, do it again. Tell me the story. Are you thinking? Who are you looking at? Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Every Tuesday, all I think is, I just want some tacos. Listen. I just want some tacos. I just want some tacos. Do you get a little more emotional about it? Is it just a statement? That's up to you. You're acting. Ready? I just want some tacos. I just want some tacos. Let's put those two together. Every Tuesday, all I think is. Ready? Every Tuesday, all I think is, I just want some tacos. I just want some tacos. Next line is, lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. Lettuce, guacamole. Hey, let's do a little housekeeping. Get the T's on tacos and want and guacamole. Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. I don't know how you feel about cheese. You're going to tell me the story the way you want. Ready? Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. I really want some tacos now. I really want some tacos now. Let's try the whole thing. I'll play it with you. Every Tuesday, all I think is, I just want some tacos. I just want some tacos. Lettuce, guacamole. Treat it like it's precious. Lettuce, guacamole, and then your opinion how extra cheese you want. I really want some tacos now. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Every Tuesday, all I think is, I just want some tacos. I just want some tacos. Lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. I really want some tacos now. Think about who you're telling the story to, what parts you want louder. Are you sometimes speaking them? Try it once and I'll just play music with you. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Really want some tacos now. All right. Think about your face. Think about your screen. Think about what story you're telling as you're doing it. Use your screen. We talked about that a lot last week, where you could see yourself and tell us the whole emotion with it. Here we go. Let's try it one more time together, then we'll try it in a couple parts. Ready? And every Tuesday, all I think is, lettuce, guacamole, extra cheese, please. I really want some tacos now. If your first name begins with an A to an H, you'll start as part 1. If your first name begins with I to P, you come in as part 2. And if your P to Z with your first name begins with that, would you start part 3? When you're done with your part, hold a face how you really feel about wanting some tacos now and fill your screen. Here you go. And for part 1, raise your hand. I'm going to get you so I can see everybody. If you're part 1, wave them. Where's 2s? Cool. And 3s? We got some. Here we go. Every Tuesday, all I get. Every Tuesday, all I get. Annie, you are desperate for tacos. Mary Ann, I'm going to give you anything you want. I can see it. I love these faces. You're still frozen. Michelle's very hungry. Mark's pretty adamant about it. I love it. All right. Fun thing. Thanks, Dan Mertzloff, for being fun with that. Back to you, Marty. I think everybody's hungry enough.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Tim McDonald, and he is going to take us through our next thing. So, Tim, it is all you.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Great. So, one of the things that we're all striving for in our musical theater programs is sustainability. And if that doesn't mean something in the current world climate now, it certainly does, right? It means even more now, because we really do have to be sustainable, and we have to be able to pivot, and we have to be able to think outside of the box while only being in boxes, which is kind of strange and ironic. So I'm going to take you through some of the things that we should all be striving for. And this is a list that we've developed over the years from looking at really wonderful musical theater programs that we think should be held as a standard and emulated. I can tell you this, all of you who are in this meeting right now, I'm 99% sure that your programs are sustainable based on these standards. But let's go through it. So, what are the hallmarks? What are the things we're all looking for? Mm, 1 second. All right, your productions are story driven and student centered. And you've heard about this in the weeks that we've been doing this. Everything that we do in musical theater is based on telling a story. We tell a story through the 5 pillars of the arts. That's music, that is language, that is dance, and then it's the visual arts and our sets and costumes, and then the digital arts in our lights and now in Zoomsicles. We'd be really needing those digital arts in this time. So you want to make sure that you're focused on the story. Every decision you make, budget decision, costume decision, it's how is this enhancing the storytelling? And then your students really do need to be center in terms of, look, they're your best resource. So it should be something that should come out of your students, and they should be in the leadership position. Do you embrace boundaries? You've heard us do this and you've seen it. It comes with a little hand gesture. Let's do it all together. That is, boundaries are freeing. And boy, we're living in all kinds of boundaries these days. And yes, all of us explore your boundaries. Um, and we're all thriving as best we can. But embracing those boundaries, you know what? I would really like to go up to the street to my favorite little pub and grab an adult beverage and talk to human beings one-on-one. It's not going to happen because boundaries are free. Next up, are you able, as one of the leaders in your organization, to delegate without ownership? But what does that mean? It means that if I want you to go find props for the Little Mermaid, and I give you a list, and you come back, and instead of the fork being silver, it's gold, I'm like, awesome, that's a great choice. I would keep to myself, perhaps, that I would like it to be silver, but is the job done? Did the person who completed the job, do they feel like they had ownership over that project? And if they did, you're successful. It's not going to be exactly what you imagine, and for those of us in the arts, that's sometimes kind of difficult, but it's okay. Delegate without ownership. Let them lead and find their own journey. Is your technical theater program student driven? There is a remarkable teacher in the Boston area. She got right out of college, got a teaching gig in a public school, high school, and the program closed 1 year later. She got another gig at another school. The program closed another year later. She got a third, and she said, I am not going to let this program close. And I'm going to stop blaming the administrators and the board of ed. I think I'm doing something wrong. And so what she realized she was doing wrong is that she wasn't making it clear to her community how vitally important her program is, not only to the school, but also to the students themselves, and again, the community at large. And one of the programs that she initiated was a very comprehensive technical theater program for students, to the point where the most coveted position in the spring musical was not who was going to play the lead, it's who was going to be stage manager. And you started the stage management program as a freshman, and it was a big deal. So whoever got named that position, they were the most celebrated in the school. Because think about it, the stage manager is literally running the show. So think about all the areas you can do that. Soundboard, lightboard, all of that. Just make sure your technical theater program is student driven, because you're going to help not only kids who may see themselves as performers down the line understand the whole of theater, but you're also going to introduce young people to professions that they may have as adults. So it's a good thing to do. Make sure your program is diverse. What does this mean? Diversity is different based on your community. So if I'm a school and I'm in Southern California and my population is 90% Latinx, Latino, then where's my diversity going to be in that? It could be from bringing in kids to my program who would have never thought of doing theater. That could be diversity. So I grab the students who are really into soccer and say, soccer and choreography kind of go together. and you get them in. So figure out what your diversity is. It's not always about race. It could be economic diversity. It could also simply be diversity of students who you aren't reaching within your program and your community. All right, your repertoire is varied. What does this mean? Well, if you are only doing blockbuster musicals year after year after year, you're not doing the best job you can at being a curator and an expert of musical theater for your community. Because here's the truth. 99% of all Americans experience live theater through programs like yours. The number of people who see professional theaters either in your community or come to Broadway, especially Broadway, it's a fraction of the population. You guys are the frontline folks. So if you're only feeding them sugar and spectacle, which is great, I love sugar and spectacle, who doesn't? But balance it off with a Once on This Island. Balance it with that show that you're super passionate about. And don't worry about ticket sales. Yes, worry about ticket sales, but let me clarify. Here's the thing. If you've built trust in your community and you are seen as the local curator, the local expert within that community in musical theater, your audiences are going to take that journey with you. So think about those other titles. We like to recommend do a blockbuster one year, and then the next year do something, that's a little more artful, that feeds your soul a little bit more, something that you've always wanted to do. And if you set up that pattern, then your audiences will be used to that as well, and they'll be just as excited about that musical that's not Beauty and the Beast, I love Beauty and the Beast, as they are about Beauty and the Beast. Have you earned community buy-in? And let me tell you, now is a time that you know that. And I know that from seeing your faces and watching your online, your social media and what's going on, your community is bought in. And that's such an important hallmark. If your program could close and go away and nobody would protest or send a letter, then you're not engaging to the level that you perhaps should be, which leads me right into the next one. You gotta toot your own horn. You really do. And a lot of us, look, I feel this way. We love the humble brag or just being humble and saying, whatever. But you've got to let your community know what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it's impacting their students. Right now, during pandemic time, students are dealing with a lot of mental stress because of the isolation. And what we do in theater is we evaluate the whole student. You can tell by the way a student walks into the room, by the way they do the warm-up that Cindy just did with us. You know exactly where the mindset of that kid is that day, which means you could pull them aside and be like, hey, you okay? What's going on? And most of the time the kids, because they know and trust you, will tell you what that is. But you got to let people know that that's what you're doing. It's not just about singing, acting, and dancing. It's not just about telling a story. It's not just about having fun. It's really about the whole wellness of the kids that you work with and your students. So let people know that. Communicate on social media. I hope you're doing this now. Like we've been meeting every Tuesday. Like when I fondly remember these times, and we are going to fondly remember these times, I promise you, because it's such a remarkable time in our history. But when we look back on these memories, seeing you guys every Tuesday is definitely going to be one of the things that flashes in my mind. So right now, what can you do? You can toot your own horn by gathering your parents together. You can gather your students together. I'm sure you're doing all of this. But don't be afraid to let people know why it's important what you do. Celebrate the small wins. Boy, this is more relevant than ever. The party line at iTheatrics is we're just trying to make it to Friday. And then we start Monday again, and we're just trying to get to Friday. And let's look back. The first Friday, I was laid up in bed with a virus. My second Friday, we were thinking about a Zoomsicle. And we had launched, we did the Junior Theater Festival kickoff. And we started Teachable Tuesdays. So, you look back and look at all the accomplishments and celebrate those small wins, because we don't really ever get to celebrate the big wins because when they happen, they're really just a series of small wins. So just make sure you take that time to do whatever that means to you. You continue to learn and grow. And again, the hallmarks, look at all these. And you guys are all here. You've been here every week with us. Many of you took the Zoomsicle PD this weekend, which, by the way, I had so much fun. On Saturday after we were done with that, I was giddy because it was the first time I actually just got to be and hang out and not lead. And it was really, really fun. And I thought what Marty and his team and all of them did was just so terrific. But continue to learn and grow in any way that you can, whether that's reading books or doing things like this. And here's the reason why. That's how you make the world a better place, one musical at a time. So thanks, you guys. Thanks for everything you've been doing and continue to do. And keep these in the back of your mind as you're exploring these things and as you're moving ahead and as you come out of this pandemic. So the next thing I'm going to do, and Marty's going to help me do this, is I want to talk about your most valuable resources. So if you can go ahead and raise your hand if you'd like to give me something that is a resource that you think is perhaps the most valuable to your program.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey guys, and I'll call on you and pick. So Mary Ann.
Right now, I think it's my alumni.
Alumni. That's a terrific answer. Who else?
Who else is Deanne?
Our energy as a staff, our excitement and energy.
Nice.
Well, Deanne, watching you jam out to Lindsay's playlist, I would definitely second that.
The Carters. Hold on, let me unmute you.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Oh, hold on. Did you? It's not letting me unmute you. Can you unmute yourself, Albert? I think you. There you go.
How's that? Okay. Our parent volunteers that really help us with everything that we do. They're wonderful.
Great, excellent. Who else has got? Oh, down there, Mark Morgan.
The variety of kids who perform with us.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Variety of kids. Joyce. Oh, Amber.
Our student leaders.
Your student leaders. Love it. Great. Anyone else have their hand up? Oh, there's Annie.
I would say this is about like the humble brag, but we, or like you as an individual, is the most important resource.
You as an individual. All right, thanks. Jessica, did you have something?
Yes, I would say you guys are a tremendous resource, and I've been watching some local productions online and just getting some ideas of how they're doing their own shows online now.
Great, love that. Do I see any other hands? Tim, did I think those are the big hands. Those are the ones who are fighting down the doors, Tim. So I think we're back to you.
Great. Well, Annie nailed it in terms right on the head. And that is truly, all those resources are important. But your number one recess, I'll take a recess, shall we? Your number one resource is you. And I constantly like to remind people of this because, face it, without you, there is no student leaders, there is no alumni, and all those things that you guys just mentioned. Building on that, I'm going to turn it over to the fabulously talented Mrs. Ripley. Cindy, let's build on this concept of you and taking care of you.
Yep, that's a tough one. So get comfortable, everybody. Now, would you raise your right hand? And would you repeat after me, please? I promise, as uncomfortable as I may become, I will willingly listen to a few minutes of advice that is a little foreign to me, and that is how to take care of me. So help me Sondheim. All right, you're good. This is a tough one. Everybody in this room, let me get so I get to see your faces because that's so much fun. We're all used to taking care of students and parents and community. And the last 10 weeks, some of you are taking care of your own children at the same time you're doing all those other things. But as we say on the airlines, and you've heard us do it, the mask has to go on you first or you can't help anybody else. It's easy to say, but it's hard to do. The first thing you've got to do is really get your mindset that it's okay to do something for you. Listen to that again. You've got to get it said here that that's okay to do something for yourself and prioritize. The next thing is managing your time so that there's some time for yourself. That is sometimes feels like it is totally impossible. Whether that means 5 minutes on a Calm app, or it means you took a longer breath before you did that next budget quota that you had to do. Maybe it meant you were exercising. Maybe it meant you were watching trashy TV at the end of the night. Maybe it meant you're walking outdoors. It may be 5 minutes. It may be 30 minutes, but manage your time. So if you don't, I hate to use the word schedule, but it's almost, you've got to put it in there. If you're going to brush your teeth, you can find 5 minutes to do something else, and not necessarily while you're doing it at the same time with everything else. The other one that's hard, and it's hard for me, I'll be the first to tell you, not every second has to be productive. Not every second has to be productive. Some of us have that issue. I have a problem with that, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe thinking about the future in thought, in plans is a great thing. Maybe that means a spa day as soon as they open. Maybe it means a future vacation, which sounds really far away now. But even if you have that set, so there's a goal to think about when your next break can happen, when you get a certain amount done. But having something to look forward to is a great thing. Healthy options for eating thrown in there so that you feel better, so that you can do everything you want to do. I just read facts this morning where the purchase of carbs in the last 10 weeks is up 35% in our country. I've really helped with that as well. But at any reason, it's time that we probably just have to, things are looking forward, so maybe we can think about being healthier. Weather helps for some of us who are in Northeast, and glad to have it. But all those things together, when you feel better, you feel like moving forward and accomplishing things. Another one's kind of tough and has been very tough for some of you lately, and that is setting clear boundaries for your family and loved ones and your program. Especially those of you who are teaching online, working with kids, but that's a really hard thing to do. But if one gets in the way of the other, neither feel good about it. It's really hard because your schedules are different than probably any friend that you've got. You've got evening things, and now your online thing is over the moon. But to set some boundaries, nope. Planning that schedule and assessing what I saw online today with kids can maybe wait till tomorrow morning early, because I really am going to spend time with kids or family or just time on myself. The other one, and I think it's affected everybody in a different way, don't be afraid to talk to someone for support. That could be all of us. The support that you've got in the groups that we have that do what we do are always giving and accepting and have big ears, for sure. But it's hard for people to understand our jobs because they're so multifaceted. Some of you have been devastated by budget things, worried about losing programs, yet trying to be positive with kids at the same time. We all have a lot in common, or some of us all know somebody that can help you to listen to. So don't be afraid to reach out, because that helps. Probably the last thing is trust yourself. if you do what you do with kids and for our culture and our life, you have a tremendous sense of good gut. Trust it. Don't second guess it. It's very easy when you're by yourself to second guess yourself because there's nobody saying, yeah, that's a good idea. Because we're all people. We all need people and there's nobody there. Well, I'm here to pat you on the back for that one because trusting you, I would trust all the people in this Zoom more than I trust the normal person that I just meet every day. That's for sure. Just because you have good sense of timing, you have a good sense of what's right and wrong. You know how to balance things out in life. Now, I'm not going to lie. Everybody in iTheatrics is guilty of a lot of these things, especially me. But I think we all have to have a goal, and that's what keeps you moving forward. So if you can think those ways, even if you only accomplish some, you're in a better place. But as Annie said, you have got to think about you if we want the rest to be healthy, and we're all moving toward a healthier place. So try a few if you can and hope one or two helps a little bit. Marte, Mr. Tim, what do you think?
I think that's pretty amazing, Miss Cindy. But I always think what you say is amazing, so I just listen and smile a lot. So that's the meat of our workshop today. As I have let everyone know, this stuff will be up tomorrow, including this video, so you can show that slideshow about what a sustainable program is to lots of people. Please take that information, share, replay what Cindy said to everyone. I mean, the big things that I heard were sustainable programs, story, and student-driven. Toot your own horn. Remember what you're doing is important. Let people know that you're doing it. Let them know you're important. You're your best resource. Take care of yourself in ways that not all of us do. The only reason Teachable Tuesdays are ending is because iTheatrics forced ourselves to do just that. We have all of our summer programs coming up and we have everything else going on. And we knew the best thing for us to do as a team was to not try to have 4 programs happening all on Tuesdays starting next week. And so we made the tough choice to put this on pause. This could be back. It's easy. Tuesdays will always be here. We'll always have things to teach. So Teachable Tuesdays might come back. But for right now, we're taking our advice and being a little bit smart about that to make sure we have the time and energy to get those kids going with all of our summer programs. Plan a vacation and eat lots of carbs is I think what Cindy, at least that's what I heard, was just eat lots of carbs. We're not quite done. I have to tell you everything that's happening. This Friday is another JT Friday. You'll see a preview of Flat Stanley Jr., the online edition, which will be the next one. One of the next 2, that and Dear Edwina Jr. are the 2 that we're presently getting ready to go out for online editions that people have been asking. I do not have an exact timeline, but I can tell you those are the 2 that are on the forefront. Would be the next couple coming out, and then there's some more behind that. That's next Friday. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, if you miss the Zoomsicle training workshop, we have another one coming up. You can email Lindsay at iTheatrics. She'll do that. And then a week from Friday will be Flat Stanley Jr. And then we, in June, start all of our summer programs with our dance intensives and our Zoomsicles. There have been a lot of people over this past 8 weeks who have been a part of these Teachable Tuesdays, yourself included. And so if you can put yourself in gallery mode, if you're not, you'll be able to see some more iTheatrics folks who are gonna join us. So I think there's Gianna and Dan have joined in, and Stephen and Lindsay and LJ. And I know Susie's probably hidden there somewhere. There's Susie saying hi. And Tucker's here. Hi, Tucker. So all of us are here. And we have thanked and loved doing this. And rather than just saying goodbye and waving, we're going to do something that will take just a few minutes, but I think it's so worthy of our time. We end every rehearsal for our Zoomsicle or every class or anything we do with the kids. We have the kids talk again because we want them to have a voice. We want to hear what they're saying. And we ask them to tell us one word how they're feeling right now. And there's no wrong answer. Sometimes they say hungry. Sometimes they say tired. They say everything under the sun. The only rules we have are you are allowed to pass. You are 100% allowed to say the same word as somebody else because how you're feeling is how you're feeling. We just ask you to be honest. And if I'm working with the youngest kids, I always say you can't say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious because they just like to say the longest word in the world. They don't really like, so I ask them not to do that. So I'm gonna let you unmute yourself one at a time. I'm gonna call you from my Zoom window, so the order might be really weird to you, but it makes sense for what I can see. And I'm gonna ask you to share if you want to. And again, if you wanna pass, you can just wave and say, I'm good. But we'd love to hear one word, how you're feeling right now. And we're gonna start with Dana.
Validated.
Excellent. Spencer.
Optimistic.
Albert and Lori, you each get a word. Oh, unmute yourself. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Grateful.
And excited.
Cool. Is that Debbie next? Debbie Rollins. Yeah.
Relieved.
Susie. Susie Hepker. Unmute, yep.
Yes. Happily overwhelmed.
Cool. Beth Weiner.
Hopeful.
Nice. Cody Forno.
Grateful.
Joanne O'Kane.
Energized.
Deanne Brill.
Hopeful.
Adam Bett.
Refreshed.
Amber.
Seen.
Marianne Adams.
Motivated.
Rebecca Childs.
Fulfilled.
Ann Kessler.
Supported. Wait, Anne.
Annie Rasco.
Also hopeful.
Michelle Campbell.
Inspired.
Jennifer Kessler.
Happy.
Emma Bishop, all the way from New Zealand.
Emotional.
Carmen Powell from Australia.
Joyful.
Yeah. Lisa.
Lightened.
Deanne Stokes.
Effervescent.
Ooh. Mark Morgan.
Creative.
Nice. Kathy.
Encouraged.
Sherry Johnson.
Inspired.
Shelby.
Grateful.
Mandy Seymour.
Hopeful.
Jessica. Clarkson, yep. Oh, you're still muted.
Full.
Right. Megan.
Optimistic.
Nice. Gianna.
Thankful.
Dan.
Zoomy.
Kristen.
Optimistic.
Susie.
Lucky.
LJ.
Grateful.
Stephen.
Happy.
Lindsay.
Pumped.
Cindy Ripley.
Privileged.
Tim McDonald.
Blessed.
And I will say honored. Thank you all so much for spending some time with us. This is not the last time we'll see, it's just the end of these. And thanks so much for making the world a better place, one musical at a time. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.